This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information.
Hello and welcome to another edition of C2C Rankem. I'm the host, Big B, along with my fellow co-host halfway around the world, the Primus, Tim Hendricks. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. Hopefully we don't have a repeat of last week's show, which was it's funny. We're second month into our third year already?
Yeah.
And that's the first time I think we've had problems, any technical problems.
Yeah. It was a nightmare. And for those viewers that watched for the first time, hopefully you guys come back, give us a second chance, because that was out of the ordinary. I think I glitched out during a segment. You were having problems pulling up your list. It was a nightmare. But hopefully we're back on track today. We got a plethora of different topics. We went back in the time machine. Tim brought this up. I thought it was a great topic. Stuff that happened. People born, people that passed away, movies, songs. The year that we were born. Now, me and Tim born 2 years apart. So, yeah. So we got a plethora of topics. We're going to close out the show, of course, with our blind ranking. But we also have pay respects to a couple of legends in the baseball world we lost over the last few weeks. One, the great Ricky Henderson. And then also the great Brewers commentator, play-by-play guy, comedian, Bob Uecker. So
WWE Hall of Famer.
WWE Hall of Famer. Yeah, you're right. I mean, so we got a good topic for both of them guys, but let's kick it off. 1975, people that were born there, along with Tim. So these guys all came out the same year Tim was born.
Every single one of these will turn 50 by the end of December. Yeah, 50.
Yeah, wow, 50.
50.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I'm starting to feel it. Maybe.
I'll tell you right now, I do have a couple double ups.
I've got one double up.
We could do the old C2C 6 for 5. Probably not, but who knows? I'm gonna go. You said you got one. I got two. I'm gonna go 4 with the C2C roundabout way. I think we're gonna hit a double up. I think.
I think we'll hit. I think we may hit a double up. I still, if that's the case, we hit the double up. It's a possibility we could hit 5 by accident.
I might have a little curveball here, but we'll see. So, all right, you kick it off. The year you're born.
The year I was born, and when I saw this name, I couldn't believe it. Considering I've met the gentleman, I've met 2 of these people on this list, so we're solid. I was lucky enough to meet this guy. If it wasn't for my dad getting into Comic-Cons, I definitely would have never met this guy. But he's the hot name right now in Hollywood. He's done everything from Game of Thrones. Heck, he's done the TV show Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He's done different Southland. He's done, like I said, Game of Thrones. He's going to be coming up next year in the new Fantastic Four movie where he's playing Reed Richards. Probably one of the greatest actors that I've ever met. Complete wholehearted. Have an autograph of this guy. Actually, I have autographs of both of the guys that I've met. But like I said, he got nominated last year for The Last of Us, playing a character. My stepson loves this show. But my number 5 is Pedro Pascal.
Alrighty, let me just. Sorry, something came up on my phone here. I just want to make sure it was nothing important here.
Something probably came up on your phone about the same time mine did.
Yeah. No, I thought it was more personal stuff, but it was a text message. So, all right.
But text messages are important.
Yeah, it depends on who they come from.
Oh, that's true.
All right. So, honestly, I got this actress on here. I'm just kind of also looking to see if I've seen her in anything that comes out to me. She was in Toy Story 4. Okay. Cool. But I put her on the list because, well, she has your last name. So my number 5 is Christina Hendricks.
There was so I saw that too. I'm like, there are so many actresses that were born on that day.
There was a lot, yeah.
There was a lot. And I'm like, I put half of these on here. My wife will kill me. And I could legitimately. My number six. My number six was a quadruple up, and I can only say one of those names without having questions.
All right. So you're number 4.
My number 4. This will upset the Packer fans when you much like the Tom Brady fans when they talk about who the real TB12 is, the OG TB12. But I think Seattle the Mariners would have won at least 2 World Series if he had not decided to take $250 million from the Texas Rangers. I also honestly think that I don't think he does steroids if he leaves the Mariners, because he had a team built around him. I think he could have, but I don't think he's really that deep into it, because he would have had.
No, Randy. I don't think he's deep into it.
No, not like he was when he was in New York, or the later years of the Rangers. Well,
yeah. Okay.
But to me, I think the guy is the real A-Rod. Do I think he needs to be in the Hall of Fame? He was a Hall of Famer before he decided to do steroids. I honestly think he just screwed himself. I think I'll take Seattle Mariner version of this guy every day of the week.
Oh, yeah.
I think this kid, this guy was kid. He's my same age. I can't call him a kid. I think this kid is again, it comes out. Was a hell of a shortstop. I think I like him. And if he would have been on the same team with Ichiro, you put Ichiro as a leadoff batter in front of this guy. He's
in front of Griffey.
Well, I think he was in front. Griffey was batting before him. Because
I'm saying if you got Ichiro leading off, you got this guy number 2. You got Griffey 3.
You put Ichiro.
4. I mean,
you put Ichiro first. I think you put Edgar Martinez at the second. Then you put Griffey. Then you put this guy at 4. I think you've got a monster roster. But the true A-Rod, the OG A-Rod, not the A-Rod that plays in whatever is going to be in New York when he retires at the end of this fiscal year for the NFL. My number 4 is Alex Rodriguez.
Good choice. My number 4 is my double up. Couple actresses that one, I haven't seen her much lately, but she was in the American Pie series. The other one, it seems like when she pops up in quite a few, banger of movies, especially with Adam Sandler lately, it seems like. My number 4 is Drew Barrymore and Tyra Reid.
I didn't put Tyra. My quadruple up doesn't have Tara Reid.
Yeah.
No, I'll tell you what don't worry. I'll tell you what I don't think we're getting 5 though.
All right, you're number 3.
My number 3, probably the greatest player to play in Baltimore, not named Cal Ripken. Um, I, I get a lot of he gets a lot of crap because he knew about a murder during Super Bowl week. I don't get the crap. I don't understand it. Um, when you think of the Baltimore Ravens, you think of Lamar Jackson, but you also think of this guy almost instantaneously. Um, from the U, I hate the fact is that he played at the U. I think I would have loved to have seen him as a Gator playing in that blue and orange. But that's fine. It's cool. Came out. The funny thing is, I think he came out the same year as Marvin Harris. I think no, he came out the same year as whatever. But he was on that stacked team, the cons versus convicts stacked team in Miami. I respect the guy. I love watching him play because he's one he's just like Singletary because he paid attention to everything. I swear I think he studied the Baltimore Ravens offensive playbook just so he could learn more about the offense. But my number 3 is number 52 himself, Ray Lewis.
Good choice there. Number 6 on my list. My number 3, I probably, I guess I could have had Lewis up there.
No, you're good. No, you're good. This was a tough one to keep.
Yeah, but I got, I don't know where he's been lately, but he played a heck of a Spider-Man.
He just played Spider-Man again.
Oh, did he come? Okay,
all right. Yeah, he played it in No Way Home.
It's not my genre of film, but
yeah.
But I got Tobey Maguire at number 3.
He was my number 7.
All right, your number 2.
My number 2. This is my double up. I've met one of these guys when he was still in Milwaukee. I'm starting to think that Minnesota should have never traded him. For what was it, Marbury? He was born 3 days after me, so I am older than this guy. Probably to me, I'm going to up there with Steph Curry and Reggie Miller. I think probably the best 3. Okay, Larry Bird too. I don't want to get shot down by somebody not paying attention to Larry Bird. For probably arguably the 4 best 3-point shooters in the NBA, and then there's the other one. The other one, I think, I when you're called the answer, you go into the league and you got a nickname and you're the answer. Yeah, I'm starting to think that the answer to the question was practice. I don't know, but to think that he played at Georgetown, I think he played at Georgetown with Alonzo Mourning.
Possibly,
yeah. But and the other thing is the reason why I lumped them together is because of one little common thing. My 2A is Ray Allen, and my 2B is Allen Iverson. The common thing, Allen.
Yeah. The Wolves traded, Ray Allen.
That one.
Don't worry. I think Ray Allen Garnett at that young age would have been just phenomenal.
And the thing is, the thing that bothered me the most is like the year before he was become a free agent, we send him to Seattle.
Yeah. Well, the one and only double up, I think, or the one and only one we are going to get is your number 4, Alex Rodriguez. I mean, there could be plenty to say that, leaving Seattle, whatever. I don't think he got too much of the steroids. I think, most of it, I'm going to take his word that it was, for him to get better, get healthy, because I don't think his size really changed as much.
No.
But now he's going to be the owner of the T-Wolves here soon, and so
good luck for
Alex Rodriguez.
Alex Rodriguez, huh?
You're number 1.
I'm hoping that you have this. I think I brought this up that my dad was a golfer. He went to TCU, and he didn't go to TCU on a golfing scholarship. Don't get that twisted. He, he but he played golf, and I've told many stories. But I don't think most people would be watching golf today. Would be watching golf. It wasn't for this guy. Heck, I played the heck out of his Nintendo, out of his PlayStation game. I found ways to get hole-in-ones on par fives. I don't think that should be legal. But I loved every single one of it and realized I think he's younger than I am. He's born in December. I think he's a December 30th baby, if I'm not mistaken. Also, I don't think many African Americans get into golf if it wasn't for my number one. Probably our number one. I'm just shooting from the hip at this point. My number, I'm dying to see what his kid can do.
Oh yeah,
I am dying to see what that kid can do. But my number one is Tiger Woods himself.
Well, I got a double up here.
Yeah, I know who
it
is. I know who it is already because I got a 5 spot of people and I know which 2 it's going to be.
So both of these guys changed their sport, the way they looked at it. One overseas, one in the States here. Yes, half of my number one is Tiger Woods. You said it. A lot of people would not have gotten into golf. I don't think I would have. Even just joking around, mini golf would have been as far as I've gone. I get out, once or twice a year, once for our company party, and then if somebody calls me up, I'll go out. It's a fun, relaxing sport. It's stressful, but if you're just out to have fun, it's great. But yeah, Tiger Woods is part of it. The second one, I think he put soccer on the map, especially here in the States when they brought him over. Married Scary Spice.
Posh
Spice, okay. Yep. My number one is also 1A is David Beckham.
Yeah, I saw David Beckham. Didn't put him on my list. I've got a question.
What?
Where do you have Lita and Trish Stratus?
Honestly, the site I saw, I didn't see them on there. They would have been up there.
I'm like, holy hell! They would have
been up there. The site I went to, I didn't see them right away. So
I had Test, Lita, Tori Wilson, Eugene, and Trish Stratus, all 5 in one spot. I'm like,
yeah, hopefully I get to meet Trish Stratus someday. Met Lita, nice lady.
Seems like it. You met Tori too.
Tori Wilson, yep. One of my first cards I got authenticated was.
Have you ever met? You didn't meet Eugene. I'm not going to say if you met Test. If you've met Test, we've got a bigger problem.
Yeah. No, Eugene, no.
No.
All right, so let's move into 2 years from 75, 77, the year I was born.
Oh, jeez.
Look
at this going, oh, dear God.
Yeah, this one, this could have been a long list too, just like yours.
I'm doubled up in 2 spots.
Nope, I got triple up.
Where's your triple up?
Outside of that,
I'm thinking, where's your triple up? But no, I can see it.
God, I went 4. We only got 2. I'm only going to go 2. I'm going to go 2 of this one. We'll probably hit a couple of the triple up, but
1. I think you got a triple up? You got a double up too?
Nope, just triple up.
Oh, geez. 1. I still think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. I can see 6. I don't know how I can see 6, but I can see 6.
It could be. It's one of those, with the double up, triple up, we can go to C2C 6 for 5.
Is there? No, there's not a double up on that. My number
5.
Yeah, I say 4 just to be safe.
Okay. All right. So my number 5, we lost way too soon. The only movie I can think about her in is Clueless.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Yeah, she was an 8 Mile too, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't see 8 Mile.
It's a must see.
For some reason, Buffy the Vampire Slayer shows up, but I don't think she was in the TV show or anything. But I don't know why that came to mind.
Yeah, she wasn't in Buffy, but there's another one. Drop Dead Gorgeous. Watch Drop Dead Gorgeous.
Okay. I think I see that one.
Oh,
but my number 5 is Brittany Murphy.
Yeah, Yeah, I saw her and I didn't put her on. I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
that one's going to come back
she
to bite me.
lost her too soon. You're number 5.
Well, I'm going to kind of steal a little bit of your Homer card.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, You know, we kind of were talking backstage a little bit about the Minnesota Vikings not going to the Super Bowl and about them not facing the Buffalo Bills. Well, I'm going to kind of take a little bit of a page out of that book because these two played with each other in Minnesota. And I think one ended up in Miami. The other one, well, we all know where the other one went. He started in Minnesota, then he went to Oakland, then he went to New England, then he went to he went back to Minnesota, then he went to Tennessee, then he went to
I
San
missed that
Francisco. But holds the record because he caught passes for my number one. That was kind of a hint there. But I think they were they in the team on the same team for like 3 years, 2-3 years. I can't remember. But my 5A is Dante Culpepper, and my 5B is probably the greatest wide receiver in Minnesota Vikings history. And I know Chris Carter and Anthony Carter both played for Minnesota. But yeah, and I'm going to be shot if I don't say this, but to me, I think the best wide receiver to ever play in Minnesota, because at Minnesota would be somebody else, is Randy Moss. You don't
there's a guy. I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you because I mean, Moss did phenomenal things, and
I know you guys got Justin Jefferson now.
Justin Jefferson may say, "Hold my beer a second here, buddy."
Oh, that's fine. If that's the case, I'm all about it.
It'd be great for me too, with my car collection. But Moss was, and I missed both of them. I honestly wasn't really thinking Moss was that old. I thought I was still older than him, but
you got to remember,
I thought I was a year old. I thought
you got to remember he started doing his time at Florida State for that year. So yeah.
Yeah, but Randy Moss, what can you say? And best wishes to him. I hope he beats his cancer and stuff. So, yeah. My number 4, I think when he came out, he kind of tried to put country back into country songs. I like his songs. I can listen to them constantly. And that's one, Jason Aldean.
Yeah, I can't listen to Jason Aldean. There's something about Jason. I don't like. It's not. There's nothing against him. I just don't. It's probably the songs themselves.
All right, you're number 4.
All right, I can't remember. There's my number 4. There's been a long list of players that have come out of the University of North Carolina, but they seem to find dunkers at University of North Carolina. But this is the guy that was before. I can't even. This is how bad it is. I can't even remember who the big name of the Toronto Raptors are now. But okay. I was looking. I was talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offensive coordinator who drew his name from the Jacksonville Jaguars. But the first real big name that ever went to the Toronto Raptors came out of UNC. Has his own, Linsanity. When Jeremy Lin became, all of a sudden he got that Linsanity, and if it wasn't for my number 4, we wouldn't have putting sanity behind anything. But one hell of a dunker, and the 90s brought us a bunch of dunkers, but this guy was innovative. And UNC just knows how to pump out dunkers. And then he just retired 2 years ago, a year ago, maybe.
I want to say last year.
Was he with the Nets or something? I can't remember.
Yeah, things like that. Yeah.
But my number 4 is Vinsanity himself, Vince Carter.
Yeah. Now he was a heck of a dunker. That guy, he could have won the dunk contest every year.
Yeah, because there was nobody touching him.
And to be able to dunk and then put your whole arm in the hoop, one that had to hurt.
Yeah, right in that trick right there. But yeah.
My number 3, well, not a young actress anymore, but I think on most guys, teenage probably in their top 5.
Oh boy, you're pushing your luck on that
I
one.
liked her and everything she's done.
You're pushing your luck on that one, aren't you?
Yeah.
All the guys want to be with her. No.
From her role in Scooby Doo to
Okay.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer to
Okay, I could have put Linda Cardellini on my birth year.
yeah. So my number 3 is Sarah Michelle Gellar.
I saw her. I'll admit. Okay, you're right on this one. That one, yeah, between Sarah Michelle Gellar. Yeah, I could. Yeah, she's on. Yeah,
Your
yeah.
number 3.
My number 3. Another guy who's hit it big, absolutely out of nowhere. Most people didn't know who he was until he did. He played Bane in the Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises. If I want to get that right. But I've seen him in Rock and Rolla as Handsome Bob. I've seen him he played in Star Trek where he plays the younger version of Patrick Stewart. I saw him in Band of Brothers. Everything where he's really, really small and now he's jacked to the gills. I think the last thing anybody's ever saw this guy in was Venom, The Last Dance. I love this guy. I love this guy as an actor. He brings everything to the table, and he's really no nonsense. My number 3 is Tom Hardy.
All right, my number 2. I think a lot of people during his career, early in the career, respected him, but then it got to the dynasty point and people started hating on him because the rest were giving them calls and stuff. And
so Patrick, the pre-Patrick Holmes. Okay.
Yeah.
You have it too.
You talk about the original TB12, which was,
Terry
Bradshaw. Then this guy went to Bucks. He showed that he could still do it, won him a title. I think gained a lot of respect even from me. I can say I don't know if I can put him as the greatest quarterback. He's definitely in the conversation. Yes, he's got the rings. Yes, he's got the Super Bowl appearances. Yes, he played 20 years, and you break down his career, it's almost identical. I get all that. That's number 12 himself, Tom Brady.
You have him at 2. Okay.
Yep, number 2. You're number 2.
You got a double up or a triple up coming, don't you?
Yep.
At 1.
Yep.
Well, here's my double. My second double up of the, and we haven't hit a single one yet. So my 4 is gone.
We know we have because you hinted, but
we I don't got my 4 coming. And to find out that these 2 guys were born the same year and they were at OVW together. I was lucky enough to meet one of these guys. And he just happened to be throwing out a first pitch at a Rays game, and I happened to see him he was signing autographs. I didn't want an autograph because I couldn't see him, but I wanted to shake his non-existent hand. He's on my wife's list, kind of that hall pass list. So that's fine. And the other one is as Paul Heyman called him, the next big thing. Everybody, I love how he keeps getting billed as being from Minnesota, but he's from South Dakota. Yeah. I'm not stealing your thunder because you kind of already know this. If you haven't seen my 2A as Peacemaker, is the most hilarious thing I've ever seen in a superhero TV series in my entire life. His comedic timing is brilliant. I absolutely think I think as an actor, he's not up to the CM Punk Rock stage yet, but he's better than Hogan, which isn't that hard because technically Hogan is a step up from Undertaker. If anybody ever saw Suburban Commando, but my 2A is John Cena, or as Santino Morella likes to call him, John Cena. And my number 2B is Mr. Sable himself, Brock Lesnar.
I got triple up. I'll tell you right now, You hit two of them.
Who's the
John
third?
Cena and Brock Lesnar. I really hope Tops WWE. I would love to have them come out with a John Cena card, even if it's a series of 10 or 100 or whatever. Just his name on there and not an image. Just
I would.
why not?
I'd love for that. I'd love
Why
it.
not?
A
That's
one of
just
one.
decided. You can't see me. Give him a card with no image on there. Brock Lesnar, on the other hand, the guy's a beast. I've actually met John Cena. The guy is ripped. He was in a suit, and you could just tell where it was like it was painted on him. You could just tell where all his muscles are. Brock, I know he's a private guy from people I know that have somewhat contacts with him, and so I don't know if I'll ever get to meet the guy, but
I won't.
I got his daughter who's a shot putter, discus thrower in Colorado, I think.
I think so.
I think
she's at University of Colorado.
She's going to be making strides here in the Olympics here soon. Possibly the ring. I don't know. We'll see. But my third one is the phenomenal one himself, AJ Styles.
I did see AJ Styles too. I did.
See, if you would put AJ on there, we would have got 4.
Yeah, we got 4 because I saw AJ and I'm like, golly.
Yeah. So,
well,
all right. So let's move into the.
Go ahead. No, you got to get your little clicker there because you got to get.
Yeah, you're one. That's right.
My one is my number one. It's not C2C unless you're sniping. My number one is your number 2. I had no respect for the guy midway through his career. I hated the guy. Absolutely. I'm like mess around. Absolutely hated the guy.
Yeah.
I still hate the guy, but you know what? As much he went to Tampa, and you kind of have to he kind of shuts your mouth after that, and you go, "Oh, son of a bitch."
Yeah.
But my number one is Tom Brady.
Yep. That's the thing is, he went there. He proved that, he was the big mastermind behind it. Now, Belichick, who knows, but Brady gained their respect there. So
think about it. If Belichick was that great of a coach, do you think he would have gotten the Cleveland Browns a lot more wins?
Yeah, that is true. You are right. So let's go people that passed away in the year of 1975 and 77.
Okay, I'll be honest. This one was tough.
They both were tough. They both were tough.
I'm like, holy crap! I
was trying to find names I knew from history or movies or something. It was tough.
If I'd have found more in my year, I would have had a double up. That tells you anything.
Yeah. I got a double up for 75.
Yep, and I kind of know what it is too.
No. Outside of that, I'll say 3. I'll go 3.
I like your 3 because I think I might know who.
Well, kick it off.
I brought this. My number 5. I kind of brought this up. At a previous show because I think it was because of celebrities born in the state of Oregon, and if I remember right. And this is the guy who was the first face of Nike, and everybody's like, "Oh, Michael Jordan." No, because for the longest time, Nike was a track shoe.
Yep.
And they have the Olympic trials on the West Coast is named after. It's called the Prefontaines, because at the time the America's greatest long distance runner was from Oregon. And they named it after him because he had been killed in a car accident when he was 26. Jared Leto played an amazing version of this guy. If anybody wants to watch a good biopic movie about an athlete, I think you need to see Prefontaine. It was amazingly done. I think it's a great movie. My number 5 is Steve Prefontaine.
I saw the name on there, and I it's like, God, I know the name. I was just like, I just couldn't put it all together.
Right.
My number 5, like you said, it was hard to pick names. So I was just like, whatever. Number 5, my 4 out of 5, I was just like, okay, I know the people, but this number 5, kind of know him from auto racing a little bit, but it is what it is. Graham Hill, auto racer.
Wow, you and Graham Hill.
So you're number 4.
My number 4, for the longest time, I like as a guy who created 3 TV shows, but I only ever remember 2. Um, and I'm into those type of TV shows. I'm into the Outer Limits. I'm into stuff like the Twilight Zone. To make those TV shows, and then all of a sudden you start going into like Spielberg ended up going into something called The Amazing Stories with Jim Henson. And then you've got stuff like Black Mirror, all those other type of crazy one episodes that will just blow your mind. Tales from the Dark was the same way. That was a crazy show. But my number 4 is the creator of those two series, like I said, Outer Limits and Twilight Zone, Rod Serling.
Yep. My number 4, again, if you're into blues, jazz, you know who this guy is. I just remember the scene in Cosby Show when B.B. King showed up and talked about who his admirers were, and he said this name, and one of the guys like just falls back on the couch. You knew blah blah blah. Yep. So my number 4 is T-Bone Walker.
Wow, you went T-Bone. Wow. It's crazy because I'm like, why? And that's the thing is, when I looked at it, I went, why do I know T-Bone Walker? Why do I know T-Bone Walker? And why am I? And the next words out of my mouth is like, why am I not putting him on my list? And you brought it up, and then I'm like, now I know who T-Bone Walker is.
You're number 3.
My number 3, I think I'm going to be hitting on one of your double up on one half your double ups because, my wife don't know who this comedy trio is, let alone. I'm like, have you ever heard of the Three Stooges? And she's like, who? I'm like, oh dear God. I think Curly died 73, if I'm not mistaken. Well before my number 3, and hint, my number 2. Because it's strange is when 2 of the three Stooges die in the year you were born. It's kind of scary. But my number 3, I watched a lot of Three Stooges, and I know a lot of people that did. Yep. And I don't think the movie with Will Sasso did that group any justice. It was good, but it wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't Three Stooges as Three Stooges, but it was good. It was a good one. Man.
But my number 3 is Larry Fine.
My number 3, MLB Hall of Famer, since MLB just announced the Hall of Fame class last night. Congratulations to all those that got in, and the voter that did not put Ichiro as a first ballot.
He
could go and take a leap somewhere. So
take a long walk off a short pier.
Exactly. So, as Bob Uecker would say, just a bit outside. I got Casey Stengel.
Yeah, to me the best New York Yankees manager of all time. Yep. And I'm going to get crap from the Torre fans, but sorry, Casey Stengel's the one that put a lot of the 23 in there. So
yep.
My number 2. My number 2 is the other of the Three Stooges that has died in the year I was born, and still disappointed that my wife doesn't know who this is. The leader of the Three Stooges himself, Mo Howard.
Yep. My number 2, another MLB guy.
What?
Robert Lefty Grove.
Oh, Lefty Grove. Yeah, golly. Oh. I could have easily put Lefty Grove. You could have doubled up.
I'm kind of interested in where your number 1 is.
My number 1, well, go ahead. It's the phrase that pays. It's not C2C unless you're sniping. My number 1 is your number 3.
Oh, okay.
I had to have Casey Stengel number 1. I love Casey Stengel. I loved his attitude in Major League Baseball.
Well, like you hinted, not only did you get 1, but you got both of my number 1s. Now, when I saw those on there, ties to Minnesota too. I mean, for the group. So
yep.
But yeah, so we got 3. Yeah, Yeah, that movie did wonders. I mean, it was just weird watching them, because we grew up watching them, and then
Right.
watching them do the movie in the 2000s when it came out with the cell phones and stuff. I mean, it just, it's just like they, when they brought the Dukes of Hazzards back with Sean William Scott and the other guy. It just, it was
Johnny
good,
Knoxville.
but it wasn't. It was weird.
Yeah, I get it. And the thing is, it's when the guys, if you taken it for what it was and not let the guys from Broken Lizards, the guys who did um, Beer Fest and all that other stuff, I like and Super Troopers to do it.
If they would have modernized it, if they would have went back to that time and did it.
Yeah, it would have been a little bit more understanding, but you kind of just you phoned it in.
All right, so let's move to 77 people that passed away.
I do have a double up on 77 though.
Okay. I don't. But I will go out on a limb and say right now, if your number one's not the same,
I see.
A certain family member is going to haunt you.
I think we might get 4.
Who? I don't
3.
think so.
I'll go 3. I'll go 3 just to be safe.
I'll go 3 to be safe. I don't think we'll get 4, but it'll be interesting. But number one better be that one person.
Yeah, when I saw who died on Christmas, I went, "Oh, this is so tough. This is so tough not to have it number one." But all
right. So my number 5 is a young actor. I think
he's not young anymore.
What's that?
He's a young actor. He's not young anymore.
Well, no, he's not. But okay, so we lost him at a young age at 77. Maybe I don't know when the movie actually came out, but I saw him in Mary Poppins, liked the movie. But yeah, my number 5 is Matthew Garber from Mary Poppins, the Son.
Yeah, I had him at number 6.
All right, you're number 5.
Like I knew who the guy is. My number 5 is a guy who was a crooner, a singer, an actor. Now you're starting to really get concerned. Now you're concerned that your number 1 is sitting at my number 5.
No, I don't think you would go that low with him.
Did movies a little bit before Viva Las Vegas, so we're okay. But I only ever remember this guy singing White Christmas and other stuff. Dancer, singer, from the mid 50s to the early 60s. My number 5 is Bing Crosby.
Okay. My number 4, MLB Hall of Famer. Second base, I believe he played and then coached a little bit.
Catfish up here.
Bucky Harris.
I don't remember. I didn't even see Bucky Harris. I'm thinking you're making stuff up now.
Nope. You're number 4.
My number 4. I think this might actually be the first woman I've had on 5 lists at the 4 lists. When I saw her, an actress. My wife knows who this is, so it's kind of scary. It's kind of scary. And she had a really rough childhood, and I always remember the biopic of this woman, and it was always my mom would always joke because this woman, when she was a child, was beat with wire hangers, and it was always a running joke. Not the wire. We'd always sit there and go, no. She'd joke and go, I'm going to beat you. I'm going to beat you with wire hangers. And we're like, no, not the wire hangers, Mom, not the wire hangers. It was because of her biopic. My number 4 is Joan Crawford.
6 for me. I had her there and then dropped her down. The Mary Poppins boy is the one that kicked her off there. I
kind of figured that.
My number 3, well, let's go with it. Bing Crosby. What can you say? Some classic Christmas songs. I mean, great voice. So, your number 3.
My 3. Well, This is the double up.
Okay.
You know how when I said that there's back in the 50s and the 60s there were great groups of comedic groups. Well, this is the other one. And the funny thing is one of these names was overshadowed by another person on this list because my number 3A happened to die after my other one. Which and nobody ever remembers that this guy died 3 days later. But part of the great Marx family themselves, my 3A is Groucho Marx, and my 3B is Gummo Marx.
Oh wow, good one. My number 2. I don't know if it's really comedic what he does, but I think a lot of the movies that he was in didn't have voices, but he was doing different stuff with it. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So my number 2 is Charlie Chaplin.
Yep. And the way Robert Downey Jr. played him in Chaplin was almost to a T.
Yeah.
So go ahead, throw your little banner dealie up, because my number 2 is your number 2. You know the great dictator himself. I love Charlie Chaplin movies, and when the thing that killed his career is the moment he had to speak, and I love Charlie Chaplin. I think Chaplin's stuff is great. His daughter is acted, and his granddaughter is acting. His granddaughter was in a couple of the last 2 Jurassic World movies.
Okay.
Una.
Well, my number 1, I hope it's your number 1 too.
No, it's not.
The owner of 18 number 1 hits, 50-some movie credits that he's been in. The guy is still making money and has not been with us since 1977. One Elvis Presley.
Yep, and allowed Kurt Russell. Go ahead, you know it's already there.
Yeah.
And allowed Kurt Russell to kick him in the ankle in Hawaii. Was it Hawaiian Blue?
I don't know. Yeah.
Or was it? It was either Viva Las Vegas or Hawaiian Blue.
All right, so we got 3. We're getting up there. All right, so let's go to movies that were debuted in 1975. Hopefully these are accurate.
They're accurate. Because at least I know the number 1 of mine is accurate. The first 2 of mine are accurate because one was the number 1 movie on my birthday.
Yeah. So all right. There's a lot. I mean, I'm gonna play it safe and just go 2.
I think we hit 3. I have this feeling of 3. I'd be shocked if you went 3, but I'm not too worried about it.
All
so,
right.
My number 5. I think the Who kind of took their direction from the Beatles when the Beatles started doing their little rock opera. When you realize that Who is all in this movie, it's pretty star-studded even back in 1975, and you know it's hilarious. It's fun to watch, and even Elton John got in on the fun in this movie. My number 5 is the rock opera from the Who, Tommy.
It's out on there. My number 5. I don't know. I did not see the movie, but the title just kind of struck me in. It's just like, yeah, every guy kind of wants to be that guy. So my number 5 is The Strongest Man in the World.
I saw that one. I saw that. I didn't see the movie, but I saw it on the list.
Yeah. Your number 4.
My number 4 is a Disney movie. I don't know how many times I saw this movie, and I think I think the remake sucks. I've got nothing against Dwayne Johnson, but you remake a movie from 1975 in 2014. I think they remade the movie. I don't think the movie needed to be remade, but that's me. I don't know how many times I watched it in elementary school. It seemed like every time we had a substitute teacher, we watched this movie. But my number 4 is Escape from Witch Mountain.
Oh, okay. No, honestly, that's probably one of the rock movies I have not seen.
Yeah, you're not missing much. You're not.
All right, my number 4. Again, it was the title that caught me because honestly, everybody's got the beliefs and stuff like that, and I think it would be cool if this was an actual real character or a creature that was on the earth and just couldn't find them, like John Cena. So My number 4 is The Legend of Bigfoot.
Huh. I didn't see that one on there.
Yeah. Your number 3.
My number 3 has a huge cult following. I don't think if Tim Curry hadn't done this movie, I don't think he does it. It's also a movie that gave us Meatloaf as an actor. It's also a movie that gave us Susan Sarandon, which you haven't killed off yet, sometime this year. I love this movie. I think it's a hilarious movie. I had the special edition of the movie where some of the soundtrack is where they encourage you to interact with the movie in these theaters, and they play it like there's a big showing in Milwaukee for this movie. They only show it at midnight on Halloween, and then they don't show it ever again until the Halloween following. I love this movie. I think this movie's amazing. I think it's fun. My number 3 is the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Saw that one. My number 3, just because of the actor that was in it, I thought it would be funny. Maybe I'll have to try to find it, see if I can find it on VHS or something. My number 3 is, it seems like a good idea at the time. That's with I want to say John Candy, but that's not who it is. Anyways, go on with your number 2.
My number 2, people are going to look at me going, you're a Jack Nicholson fan and you didn't watch this movie until almost 40 some years later. And the reason why I watched it was because my wife made me watch it. And I don't understand why I didn't watch it before this. I love the movie. I absolutely love this movie. It's probably in the top 25 movies I've ever seen. Probably the biggest thing that put Jack Nicholson on the map. People are going to say Easy Rider or something like that. But my number 2 is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh, wow, I missed that one. But yeah, it was John Candy. It was a comedy skit, I think. But all right, my number 2
was that before he did SCTV?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So my number 2, I put it on the list because of the title. Kind of fits where we met in a little nightclub. So I got number 2 as Night Moves.
Yeah, I saw that one. I realized I should have put that on as a curveball, and then I didn't really.
Well, you would have got it low.
Yeah, I'd have got it real low.
All right, you're number 1.
I'm starting to really worry at this point because I know it was the number 1 movie on my birthday. I think it was the number 1 movie for the year. Didn't win the Oscar. Heaven forbid. That went to One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Steven Spielberg. I think this was a Spielberg movie. I think it's one of Spielberg's first movies. Yeah. This is the one that made you that its taglines. The movie will make you afraid to go into the water. And I've been to the place where they filmed the third one. It's at SeaWorld in Orlando. It's kind of scary when you realize it. But my number 1 is the original shark movie, Jaws.
Talk about movies that should not be remade. Hopefully, they never do. Or
it's not good.
Is Jaws? I mean, that was. I mean, at the time, I mean, I guess I kind of would like to see them remake it with the digital stuff they got now. But back then, I mean, that was top of the notch. I mean, yeah, like you said, freak people to go swimming, especially in big lakes and rivers and stuff. So, all right. So, movies that were made in 1977.
Well, if we don't get the number 1 right.
I was just looking at that. 1 and 2 we should probably get.
I
don't know. 1 for sure. But
we'll get. I think we'll get 3.
I think we'll get 3 too. But
if you really know me, we should get 4.
Ooh. Well, we'll see. So I kick it off.
Yep.
My number 5, John Travolta starred in it. I think it was one of his Coming out films, I think Grease was the one that kind of put him on the map, though. My number 5, Saturday Night Fever.
Really? Well, go ahead. It ain't C2C unless you're sniping.
Oh, got you right off the bat.
And that's not the one I thought you were going to, if you knew me, you were going to get. My number 5 is your number 5, Saturday Night Fever.
All right.
Oh,
My number 4.
Oh, here it comes. This is the one. This is the one right here.
Being the state of hockey, got to put a hockey movie out there. We're going with Slapshot.
You know those 3 guys went to Northern Michigan University?
Yeah, I've heard stories. Yeah,
the Hanson brothers. Yeah. Where that you missed.
All right, you're number 4.
My number 4. My dad was a big James Bond big James Bond fan. Huge James Bond fan. Matter of fact, Saturday I watched Skyfall. I love James Bond movie. I'm still waiting. I will go live on Facebook the moment they announce who the new James Bond is. My number 4 is The Spy Who Loved Me.
Yeah, the new James Bond will be like John Cena or somebody.
Oh.
Dominic Mysterio.
Oh, okay. Now you get me right into the Dragon Vipers on that one.
All right, my number 3. I'm a baseball guy. Loved watching these movies. I watched the remake of the original. Thought it sucked, but part of me is like, oh, it was still a kind of a decent movie. But I'm going with the Bad News Bears Breaking Training Camp.
Yeah, I saw that one on there.
All right, you're number 3.
My number 3, when you have to do a movie that after you do Jaws, Steven Spielberg thought, hey, let's do another one that's really, really weird. And I read the book for the movie, so it's really, really interesting. But this is the one, again, another movie that starred Richard Dreyfuss in a Steven Spielberg movie. I thought it was brilliant. I absolutely thought it was brilliant. And the funny thing is, if I'm not mistaken, the sound from the spaceship is actually the same music that is played in a Bond movie. I think it's Never Say Never Again, which is hilarious. But my number 3 is Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
I didn't see that one.
Oh, here it comes.
My number 2. If you're an outlaw trying to get away, I don't think anybody could have been cast this guy except for Burt Reynolds. Yeah. I don't know. My number 2, Smokey and the Bandit.
Little Eastbound and Down.
Yep.
Go ahead. Put it up there. It's not C2C unless you're sniping. My number 2 is your number 2, Smokey and the Bandit. Absolutely. Put Sally Field on the map. Holy smokes. Sally Field, Burt Reynolds, even though Burt's been around for a while. And then you've got, oh man, somebody's going to kill me. I can't ever remember the night who played the George Reeves, Jerry Reed.
It was a good movie.
I love Smokey.
My number 1, what can you say? Started all for the Star Wars phenomenon, but yeah, Star Wars it is.
Yeah, go ahead. do your little blinker thing again. Yeah, it's not C2C unless you're sniping. It's basically the reason why I love movies. It's Star Wars.
Yep. And again, I don't want to see them remake it, but I kind of do with the new technology and stuff.
Right.
Let's see how it would come out. All right. We got a few more categories left. We're going into a little overtime.
We're going into a lot of overtime this episode.
Yeah. This will be about an hour and a half show. But anyways, whatever. We got songs from 1975.
We might get 1 or 2.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. So, all right. Kick it off.
Go ahead, right? Back in the day, if you know anything about my family and I, and we used to go on long trips, and we used to listen to a lot of country music. You're going to hear this story a lot in this category. because I love it. But one of my grandparents' favorite artists was a comedian, was a comedic country music singer by the name of Ray Stevens.
Okay.
I absolutely love Ray Stevens, but then again, all of a sudden in the '75, he comes out with this very serious song, um, and it's probably to me, it's still his best song. And when I saw it that it was made and it was released in '75, I had to put it on the list. My number 5 is Misty by Ray Stevens.
Gotcha. My number 5 passed away a couple years ago, I believe she did. But her voice was amazing. Saw her in Grease. Voice was amazing.
Yeah,
so I had to put it on a list. Not sure if I've heard this song before, but I might have to pull it up. But Olivia Newton-John's Have you never been a melon? Yeah.
No clue. Nope, never heard it.
Mellow. I'm sorry, mellow.
Melon.
Can't read my writing. Have you ever been mellow? I'm like, mellow? That doesn't seem right. But
have you ever been a melon?
No. You're number 4.
So my number 4, I don't know if you've heard this story, but when my family went went on trips, no, and it works in this song, believe me. Matter of fact, I brought up this singer one time in another category back in, I want to say December or November. An artist by the name of Freddie Fender, and I love Freddie Fender. I think we were talking about The Last Teardrop Falls, I think, from that one. But to me, I think this song ranks right up there with The Last Teardrops Falls. Wasted Days and Wasted Nights.
Yeah. My number 4 comes from the group Miracles. I think you sing it, you hear it, you just kind of make your own kind of little dance moves. My number 4 is Love Machine.
Oh my God, yeah. yeah. We
All right, you're number 3.
We might get one. My number 1, or my number 3. Why did I say 1? All right. Now, I always thought this song was from the 80s. Because that's all I ever heard it was in the 80s.
Okay.
And when you realize it's not from the 80s, I went, holy smokes, I'm as old as this song. It kind of scares me. It's by an artist by the name of Carl Douglas. Doesn't mean anything, but when you hear the name, you instantly, and the fact is you want to start doing kung fu as soon as you hear the song. My number 3 is Kung Fu Fighting by Carl Douglas.
Wow, that was a 75.
Exactly. That's the exact same response that I had.
Well, my number 3, I know we brought this group up quite a few times. Song came out in 75 by Queen. Bohemian Rhapsody.
Bohemian Rhapsody was in 75. Okay, we don't talk about that. We don't bring this up to my stepdaughter at all.
You're number 2.
I know I brought this guy up about him. I think it was because he was born. It was one of those celebrities born in a state. But, this is another toe tapping song. Most people our age didn't realize it was a song until I think Pauly Shore put it on when in one of his movies. I can't remember the name of the freaking movie where he's driving a tractor. What was it?
Son-in-law?
Son-in-law. Yeah. My number 2 is Thank God I'm a Country Boy by John Denver.
Oh, I missed that one. Oh. God. I really hope I get a good story about you traveling with this song with your family, your dad goes somewhere. But my number 2 is from Glenn Campbell, Rhinestone Cowboy.
Well, it's not C2C unless you're sniping. Yeah, my number 1 is Rhinestone Cowboy from Glenn Campbell.
Yep. My number 1
Oh dear.
We're not getting sniped here. It's from War,
Oh,
and I
Lowrider.
just hear the
Lowrider.
beat and I
Slow,
think of I think the TV show was
Lowrider, isn't it?
the Wayans brothers. I think had it.
Is it Lowrider?
Um, but my number one is Why Can't We Be Friends?
Why can't we be friends? Why can't we
Yeah,
be friends?
exactly.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't remember what that is. No, the Wayans Brothers song was something else.
no,
But I know what you're talking about.
or it might have been in some TV shows when they talk about being
There was
friends.
a lot of movies. There was a lot of movies that did that too.
All right, so let's go with 77. Song born in 70 or debuted in 77 or released.
But it's okay. I've got one that's kind of a double up, but it's not a double up because they consider it a single song.
I don't know. It's a double up, but it's not a double up, but a single song.
Yeah, because
Okay, I can't wait to hear this one.
Yeah, you'll understand it when it gets brought up. I think 3.
I do have 2 double ups.
I have technically I have a double up, but I don't know if it's a double up. It's by the same. It's by the same band, so I can't even consider it a double up.
I think I know what you're talking about now. I'll go 3. We're stuck on 3.
I like 3. Why not 3?
All right. Well, my first one, you know the name. Not my kind of genre of music, but just the way you are by Billy Joel.
Like Julie Joel. I like that song. It's a good song.
All right, you're number 5.
My number 5 is a, believe me, it's one of those songs that when you first hear it, you don't realize that Lionel Richie's part of the group, and then all of a sudden you hear it. It's funny. It's there because they're talking about a woman, and they're calling her this, and it's kind of not that. It's not nice, is what it is. My number 5 is the Commodore's Brick House.
Yeah. Or maybe they were ahead of their time and talking about Shaq's free throw attempts. I don't know.
Maybe.
My number 4 from Foreigner. It's another song that has a catchy few words, and every time you see it, you got to sing those words. Cold as Ice.
Cold as
Ice. Yep.
Yeah.
You're number 4.
My number 4. Is another band that I like. It's really not yours. If you got it on, it's not your style. You've already said. Who is it that you? Cocker? No, you said Billy Joel. So maybe this might be up your alley. But I didn't know about this band until I was almost until I was almost into the 90s. Before I was in my 90s, I haven't hit my 90s yet. So, but it's one of Fleetwood Mac's early songs that they put out. But my number 4 is "Don't Stop."
I did see that one. Yeah. My number 3, kind of remade it a little bit, I think, or I don't know, partnered up with Alan Jackson a little bit on this one. But my number 3 is Jimmy Buffett's "Margaritaville."
Yeah, I didn't realize Margaritaville was a 77.
No, I didn't either.
That's my own fault there.
All right, you're number 3.
My number 3, I've seen this band twice, and the weird thing is it didn't register that they played that song at that concert each time. And like I said, I saw this band twice, and it wasn't until I saw Guardians of the Galaxy that I realized that I heard the song twice. But it's one of those catchy songs. It's by Electric Light Orchestra, otherwise known as ELO, Mr. Blue Sky. It's got a real catchy piano entrance. It's just...
My number 2 is a double up.
Yeah.
You got half of it with the Commodores at number 4 with Brick House. I'm gonna partner it up. Oh, gotta give you a little flashy flash. And then I'm gonna also partner it up with Easy from the Commodores.
I didn't even see Easy. I'd have partnered it up with Easy too.
Yeah.
Easy like Sunday morning. Yeah.
All right, you're at number 2.
My number 2 is kind of we don't know if it's a double up or not. You know, probably one of the greatest stadium okay, half of this song is like one of the greatest stadium anthems of all time. The other, they seem to play every time somebody wins a championship. Um, and the fact is, they don't even call it a 2 songs. They call it one, and they just put a slash in it. I bet you Queen's real happy about that. I can this one won't get me in trouble, so I'm good. My number 2 is "We Will Rock You" / "We Are the Champions" by Queen. Is that your
My
number
number 1 is both of those because I thought they were both different songs. I didn't think about it being 2 different songs, but yeah,
it's on the cassette tape as one song.
Really?
Yeah, I had the cassette tape.
Why would they make it one song?
Ah.
But they're listed in 75 as 2 different songs. All right.
Exactly.
You're number 1.
My number 1. You know, you don't have Saturday Night Fever without this song. And you know, and I think the Bee Gees. This is the song that kicked off the disco era in 1977. It's the title song from Staying Alive from Saturday Night Fever, "Staying Alive" by the Bee Gees.
Yeah, I should have had that one on there. That was a good one. All right. So
we're not.
Let's get into, like we said, a couple of greats that we lost over. I think one was Ricky Henderson before Christmas. Bob Uecker just a
3
week
days
ago,
3-4 days ago.
Yeah. So, Milwaukee Brewers. I don't follow them that much, but they're gonna have a hard time replacing that guy.
Well, the weird thing was, and this was the crazy thing for the longest time in Milwaukee. Most people don't know this, but the guy that would when Uecker on the radio would take a break from calling play-by-play was Matt Vasgersian, who's with MLB. I'd love to see them get Matt Vasgersian back, but I don't see that ever happening.
Yeah, we don't know. As a matter of fact, yesterday I was at a Twins thing at my work, and the guy Corey Pavano, I think is his name.
Carl Pavano?
Bob Uecker. So he had a couple memories to share.
Yeah, Carl Pavano used to work with
Carl, yeah.
Carl, yeah.
Yeah, so they had a couple he had a couple of memories because somebody asked him, about his thoughts and
right.
So but all right, well let's start with Ricky Henderson, greatest base stealer of all time. Top 5 memory or top 5 moments in Ricky Henderson's career. Honestly, I mean, this could go 5 for 5. Let's go 4.
I think we go. I think 3 is a possibility.
Yeah, I think 3 is possible, depending on where you got your information from. But so go ahead. You're number 5.
My number 5, October 7th, 2001. I think most people, I know Callan would know what this date is almost immediately. But the big thing was that Ricky Henderson got his 3,000th hit in October 7th, 2001, proceeded to take himself out of the game after he scored. He would have stayed in the game if it weren't for one reason.
Yep.
It was Tony Gwynn's last game.
Kick it off right away. Yes, number 5. I would have said the exact same thing you just said, that it was his 3,000th hit. Took himself out after scoring off the double, just because he did not want to overshadow Tony Gwynn's last game.
Yep.
So you're number 4.
July 29th, 1989. It was against the Seattle Mariners in a 14-6 loss. Okay, this is and he did this and he got his career best off of Randy Johnson. Which this to me, I think is when you think about this, when you steal 5 bases in a game off of Randy Johnson, that at the time was his career best. But the big thing that's not the big thing. He did that with 0 official at bats.
All right, my number 4. He goes. I don't know how many records he broke, but this one, you just talked about the walks. Well, 4 of those helped him break the record for most walks in a career, and that was surpassed by Babe Ruth.
Yeah, and then turned around, we know who he got surpassed by.
Yeah.
So I still think Ricky Henderson has that record.
You're number 3.
My number 3, July 5th, 1993. To me, this and it'll come back up somewhere later in the show. I knew that he had broke this record, but he did it in the second game of a doubleheader against the Indians. But he breaks the leadoff home run record.
All right.
But I think that got broken too eventually. Didn't that get broke by I want to say Brady Anderson?
No,
that could have been. Right.
I don't believe that record's been broken yet.
No, okay.
Maybe for a season because Anderson had like 52 home runs, and
he also had steroids to help him.
Yeah.
Because Ricky Henderson,
Ricky
Henderson doesn't let Ricky Henderson records get broken by anybody by Ricky Henderson.
My number 3 is your number 4. The 0 official plate appearances.
Yeah.
4 walks, 5 stolen bases off of Randy Johnson.
How do you do that?
And the thing is Randy's a left-handed pitcher, so you have to watch his move.
Yeah.
Because what's lefties, they could have that little move where they can still throw over in their windup.
Right. And his pitches tailed away easy too. And it was,
Yep. You're number 2.
My number 2, May 1st, 1991. In a team that he ended up playing for after. Was it after? I can't remember, but I know he played for the Yankees in there briefly.
A few times, I think.
He in a 7-4 win, he breaks Lou Brock's career stolen base record, the career record. Yay.
I thought he did that with Oakland.
He did that with Oakland, but he did that against the Yankees.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. All right. My number 2? Yeah. My number 2 is your number 3. The most home runs as a leadoff hitter. I mean, what can you say? To get up there, I know it's only, 81 times he did it, but to get that leadoff smack right away to put you up 1-0, just it's got to motivate the team.
Yeah.
The ability to do that game in and game out, got to ease the mind of the starting pitcher for one.
Right.
So, all right, you're number 1.
I have this feeling we might have the same one. August 27th, 1982, in a loss. The reason why I put it on here is for my reason, because against the Brewers, in a 5-4 loss against the Brewers, yay, way to go, A's. He breaks Lou Brock's single season base record.
Okay. Nope, I got my number 1, I guess, is your number 2, I think, is the day that he broke the all-time stolen base record. I remember him sliding into third and
stole the base.
Pretty much got up and took that base out of there and stole it. And from what I heard, too, is they wanted him – they didn't want him to do that. They wanted him to keep the base there. Then they were going to give him the base. But, yeah, no, he came up and swiped it, and he took it. I would have loved to see him swipe home for the career record.
I would have seen him try to peel that sucker off with a
exactly. The team comes out with wrenches and crowbars and stuff.
Oh, yeah. He'd have been pulling that thing up. They'd have brought out a backhoe for it.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into some of Bob Uecker's top quotes.
This is hilarious.
I got a couple. I'll say right now, I got a couple that I think he was doing broadcasting for or something like that. My top 3 are it could have been any major league quote. I mean,
honestly, I think a lot of these he said. A lot of these, I think he said in like on air for WCJB.
Yeah. All right. So I'm not even going to put a number on it because there's so many quotes. Like I said, I didn't even write down top 2 because there's so many major league quotes that he could have done. So, but my number 5, I had a laugh. I had to read it twice because this was funny. When I come up to bat, with 3 on, 2 outs in the ninth inning, I look over in the dugout and the team's already in their street clothes.
Yeah. He's just hilarious. It's just some of the greatest stuff I've ever heard.
Yeah. You're number 5.
My number 5. If you want to tell this to Greg, that I think he'll get a kick out of it because he's a Cardinals fan. But people don't know this, but I helped the Cardinals win the pennant. I came down with hepatitis. The trader injected me with it.
Another personal one. My number 4. I knew when it was the end of my career was over. My 1965 card came out and didn't have a photo on it.
Oh, you son of a bitch! You took it. Oh.
You're number 4.
All right, my number 4. You know, it's hilarious because of everybody who's got gloves and shoe contracts now. I had a great shoe and glove contract with a company who paid me a lot of money never to be seen using their stuff.
That's a good one. I saw that one. And my first MLB or Bob Uecker moment in the movie Major League. 1 hit. That's all we got is 1 goddamn hit. And it's Cal Parker. We can't say goddamn on the radio. Oh, who cares? Nobody's listening.
Nobody's listening. For the longest time, that was like it was like that with Brewer games too. You start wondering.
Yeah.
You didn't do 2. You did 5, right?
I did 5. Yeah.
Okay. My number 3 in 1962, I was named Minor League Player of the Year. It was my second season in the bigs.
That was a good one. Yes, I love that one.
Love it.
No, I did 2 personal, and then I did from Major League. Because I mean, we could have did this all Major League.
Oh, I could have been a day and a half on Major League.
Yeah, and J Mac's a good one. I quote in all these too. So, Haywood leads the league in most offensive categories, including most no-hairs. When he sneezes, he looks like a party favor.
Oh, that one. My number 2. They broke it to me gently. The manager came up to me before a game and told me they don't allow visitors in the clubhouse.
I'm just looking at a good number 1 here. I think it was in Major League 2. They hit a home run off of Wild Thing, and all he does is go, shit. You're number 1.
Well, I never thought I'd say this, but it's not C2C unless we're sniping. My number 1 is your number 4. I knew when my career was over, my 1965 baseball card came out with no picture. The John Cena card.
Now, we're both kind of sports collectors. You and your dad got into it back in early, whatever. Is that card a legit card, or I mean?
No.
Okay.
No.
I was just like, that would be a cool card to have. I mean, if it was a legit card. I mean,
no, not at all.
All right, so let's get into
65. To be honest, I've seen a 65 tops. I think I've seen a 65 Fleer too.
Yeah.
So they're legal. There's a picture on them. I don't know if
that would be kind of cool. That would have been kind of fun.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into our newest topic, our fun one, blind rankings that we see all over Facebook, TikTok. Welcome back, TikTok, by the way. I didn't know what to do without you for the few hours that you were gone.
The few hours that I didn't know you didn't exist.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez.
So the blind rankings. So we each pick a category. We don't tell the other person what it is. We give them 5, and sometimes you get what you get at 5 if you don't think hard enough. So I am going to go, because I've been so eager to be working with the indoor football team here in Minneapolis or Minnesota, St. Paul Bears. I am going to go with famous bears. Tim,
Oh,
I'm not going to tell you if they're fictional or real bears,
no,
but
we're
we're
good.
going
We're
to
good.
have fun with this one. All right.
You're going to start off with Yogi right off the top.
Number 5, or not, no. The fifth
Number
one
5.
we'll go with Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, forget it. That's number 1. That's not without a question number 1. My sister would tell you it's my number 1. My brother would tell you it's my number 1.
All right.
Winnie the Pooh.
All right.
Number 1.
The grizzly bear for Grizzly Adams.
4.
Okay.
I almost want to say 5, but it's 4.
The Coca-Cola Bears.
I'm so afraid of what you've got. I'm going to say 5 just because I'm afraid of 2 and 3.
Got to go with the bear himself. Sweetness, Walter Payton.
Oh, 2. I have no arguments with Yogi Bear's number 3. I have no arguments.
And Yogi Bear.
I have no arguments with Yogi Bear being number 3. None.
Wow. Winnie over Sweetness. Okay.
No, because remember, I would get Winnie the Pooh tattooed on my arm somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm not getting Sweetness. And as much as I love Sweetness I would take Winnie the Pooh's tattoo over any day.
I thought for sure you might have mulled over that one a little bit, trying to figure out where I had like Yogi and
So
if I did throw Sweetness in there, you know.
You threw me off with Sweetness, but yeah, I love Walter Payton. To me, I think Walter Payton.
Not. All right. What is your blind topic for me?
All right. Since we decided, and I kind of hinted at it a little bit on the Ricky Henderson and the leadoff, hitting the leadoff home runs. I'm going with the best leadoff hitters in Major League Baseball, all time.
All right.
I'm going to hurt you right off the top.
Okay.
Lou Brock.
That's not fair. God.
I actually have him in the order that I would take him to, but I didn't, and I'm not giving him to you in that order.
Yeah, no, I figure I don't go to you in my order either.
No, because you had Sweetness at number 1.
I did have Sweetness at number 1.
Yeah.
Lou Brock. God, I'm trying to think of who else. I'll go number 2.
Number 2? Okay. Well, then we'll bring in Paul Molitor.
Yeah, see, he led off early in his career, but then when he came to like the Twins and stuff, he was. I'll go 4.
He was a leadoff in Toronto too.
Yeah. Even with Alomar there, he led off.
What's that?
Even with Alomar there in Toronto,
Yeah, because Alomar batted behind him.
Okay. I'll go 3.
All right, so we've got Lou at 2, Molitor.
No, I'm sorry, Paul at 4. 4.
Well, okay, got Lou at 2, Molitor at 4.
My evens are gone.
Yeah. Ichiro Suzuki.
It's tough because I'll go Ichiro at. Oh, God dang it! He's not 5.
Well, it's not going to help you out.
I'll go 3.
3. So you've got Lou at 2,
Yep.
Ichiro at 3, Molitor at 4. So we're going to put in Ricky Henderson.
Nah, he's number 1. I would take him 10 times out of 10 at leadoff. No question.
All right. And my last one, so you're putting at number 5, Pete Rose.
Yeah, Charlie Hustle. I mean, that was tough because it's just like out of those 5, Molitor would be my number 5.
That's what I got him at.
God. And then the middle 3, I mean, I could take arguments all over the place.
Oh, I can take arguments all over the place too.
Yeah. To me, if I'm looking at that lineup, even in a video game, I got Ricky Henderson. I'm putting him at leadoff.
Yeah, I'm putting Molitor at 6. I'm putting Molitor at the 6th spot.
Oh yeah, most of the time 6, 7, 8 Molitor's going.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but
Yeah, I got
Pete
Ricky. I
Rose,
had
yeah,
Ricky
he was a
one.
good hitter. I mean, definitely. You did have Tony Gwynn on there. I was kind of shocked. That's why I was kind of worried about that. If you're going to put Ricky and Gwynn both on there,
Yeah,
that would have sucked because I still would have took Ricky over Gwynn.
no,
Just
that would have
because
been
of the base stealing factor. I mean,
yeah. You always put the guy who's fast in the spot where he can move to second right away.
yep. Yeah, that's where, but that's not baseball these days. They just
Right.
put them wherever.
Right. Ichiro was the key of the slap bunt. So yeah. And Pete was the guy who hit. So it's like, and Lou Brock is another.
And I'm glad the base steal is coming back. I mean, we saw it this year with
Ellie De La Cruz,
not Ichiro, Ohtani, De La Cruz.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll ever come back to the base where it was
100 years, or
type, but
heck, it'd be nice if they came back to the list dash 70 years.
Yeah. So with that being said, guys, Tim, any final thoughts?
No. So it was a long show, but I think we had to do a long show because our fans deserved a longer show. When the weird thing was, it's like, okay, I'll give you this list, and then you added 3 things. I'm like, we were already at 6, and then the fake, and I'm like, we need to do songs. Oh no, there's 8. Now we said we got.
Hey, it is what it is.
These 5 and these 5, and I'm like, all right, we'll do 10, and it's like we haven't done 10, and then we got the blind one, and I'm like, okay, 11. We've never done an 11 show, and it's like our fans needed an 11 show. We needed a super show.
We thanks for the people that popped in. Anybody that's watching this on the replay, message us. See what topics you want us to break down. We're not afraid to break down anything. I mean, I should say that.
I can break down a burrito with like the best of them.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, there is topics we will avoid because, depending on the nature of the topic. I mean, we won't do politics that much, but I mean.
Okay, you're right. I won't do politics.
Yeah. But there's things that we have to keep it PG, for the network.
Like
with that being said, just keep checking us out
PG
all week long.
We've been so PG, we don't even have our disclaimer at the beginning anymore.
Yeah. So we just keep checking us out all week long. Like I said, working on a little partnership with the indoor football team, the St. Paul Bears. Had a couple interviews already with the coach, with Johnny Ware, defensive back. So we're looking to get more of those. And if time lines up and I can take some time off work, I definitely will be there streaming some of their games. Hopefully their open tryouts they'll have. Morning tailgate, getting down to the final 3 games. So check out those guys and myself. Between the ropes, Crispy Bacon was at Raw, so we'll get a good recap there. Got a lot coming up, so just check us out, and we'll see y'all next week on C2C Rankem. Have a good one.